Well, hello there. This is Kathy Crow, and this is the Crow Cottage. It is so nice for you to join me. Thank you. I'm here actually a little early today. I know you will be shocked that I managed to do that. That's like a once in a million kind of thing. Let me get my sound off. I have to try to get my computer going on the side so I can see comments up there. Yeah, and thank you again for joining. Today. It's going to be fun, you guys, because I am just kind of abandoning the usual theme. I'm going to do Christmas Barn. This is a new stamp set that is coming in the new catalog. So pretty soon, like July 1st, there's going to be a new catalog. Celebration is Hi, Trudy. It's good to see you. Celebration is starting. That means for every $50 you get a free product. There are so many cute things. That hippo thing. There's a whole bunch of stuff out there. There's some dies. I'm not doing these today. I was going to. Today. Hi, Kathy Crow. It's so cool to see you. How are things going where you are? Our weather is beautiful here today. It's like super sweet. Hi, Linda. It's nice to see you too. Thanks for joining me, you guys. And thank you for sharing. I really appreciate that. So trees for sale. This is a really cool stamp set that's going to be available in the new catalog. Hey, Will, it's always good to see you. Thank you for joining me. But here's the thing about this. There are dies that go to this, but you can't get them unless you, during Celebration, again, starting in July, unless you order at least, I don't even know. Ladies, do you guys know? Do you have to order $100 worth or $50 to get these dies? Now, I am going to show this in the future, but I was going to do it today because I really like it. It's got this most adorable little camper. That's a die cut, and it cuts out the top and the bottom sides really cute. There's a little sign that says, trees for sale. There's this little dog die. So the dog is in here, and so are the trees and whatnot. You have to get look at those little paw prints too. So cute. It is beautiful there. I thought so. Nice, isn't it? Really nice. Nice to have some cooler weather because it was pretty hot there for a week. Anyway, there's 24 dies in with it, but you do have to order some stuff. Now, if you are a demonstrator, you get to order these things a whole month ahead of time. That's why you should join us, and then you get a chance at things early. But having said all of that, I was going to do that, but then I realized, no. Today I want to do something different. So I am going to use this barn. I'm not going to probably end up doing a whole card just because there are so many things I want to show you. Now, here is one. You're going to find all of these on Pinterest. If you follow me on Pinterest, you've probably already seen these, but they are brand new, so you might not have seen them. I haven't put the backs on most of them yet, the actual card. These are just the fronts. But this barn goes with so many things. So I paired it in all of these cards with new stamps that are coming out in this new catalog. That little painted pheasant, he's awfully cute, isn't it? This one is the pumpkin from Hello Harvest. This is, I think, also Hello Harvest, these flowers that go, sorry about the chimes, it's going to be a little noisy, but it's 1, right? I hope. Not noon. Okay, and then there's the camper again. Isn't it cute? I did it in silver there, so like an Airstream. Anyway, and the little dog. But then after doing all that, I knew I wanted to do a Christmas one. It is, after all, called Christmas Barn, but it's not Christmassy here yet at all. It's warm and summer and beautiful. And I know it's going to be fall first, so I thought, I'll just do a whole bunch of fall things. Then I finally got to a Christmas one. It does have this cute little sleigh. I broke out the little reindeer from Snowfront, and that little house is from Snowfront too. But the fence so is that snowman, but the fence is from that barn set. And then I realized in doing that, there's a whole lot of our old sets that will go really nicely with this. I put Peaceful Cabin with this one. And a real oldie but goldie, if you guys remember Happy Scenes, that was one of my favorites. Has the pumpkins that are the perfect size. They're kind of large, but still pretty good. And you get the little fox with that Peaceful Cabin. So today I was thinking, what could be fun is just showing you how important it is when you get a stamp set offered to you that's like this one. And I'll explain what I mean by that as we kind of go along. You need to snap it up. You're going to use this one forever. I know I will, and I'll explain why. All right, so I'm going to put the camera down, and we are going to get started on having some stamping fun. I don't know if my lighting is right. I've kind of got a lot going on today because it's not a gray day today. Today it is bright and sunny. There's my host code. If anybody wants to place an order, there you go. Use that code. I'll know who you are. You will get free cards for every $50 or above purchase. You get free cards, free things. It depends on what I have on hand sometimes, what kinds of free things you get. So today, since I'm just going to play around, I want to start off first by just cutting up some cardstock. Now, it depends on how big of a card you want to make. Usually, I try to stick to our standard. This is just your 8.5 by 11 cut in half at 5.5, and then I'm going to cut it again at 4.25. I usually just start with this. This is a pretty big die, and it depends on what you want to put with it. So maybe I want to do one that's going to be a little bit bigger. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and shove it over here to the 6-inch side. We'll cut that there, and then we'll cut this one at about 4 inches. Okay, and that's going to give me 2 bigger sized cards to play with today. And then I still have, I've got a bunch of this is our basic white stuck on the side here, depending on what I get to, because I just feel like today we're going to do a lot of stuff. Because this is, let me find it, because this barn has a die. Okay, I've got a piece in here ready to cut out because I was playing around what I wanted to put with it. It actually cuts out the little ground too, which I like this one better than some that we've gotten because it actually because they're lines and they're not like snow drifts up on the barn, you can easily make this any season you want. So if you don't want the lines, you can just cut your barn off and stick it on your card. That is super simple to cut off. But actually the ground, as I've found, it goes pretty well right into the, like, see here, this one, I just took the ink off the bottom and just stamped it right on there. Let me find one that I didn't do that with. This one, I left the ground in because I knew I was going to put green behind it and just colored it green and stuck it. Because it's behind stuff, you can't really tell. That little fence is a fence die that comes with the set. So when you stick your fence right on top of it, it kind of just disappears behind it. The silo also is a die that you can use that's right there in the set. There's a silo that has 2 fences. This is the fence I just showed you in the card. And then this is a fence that matches this fence. And so you can stamp and cut it out, and it's all cut out for you, which is nice. There's just all kinds of really cool things here. There's, boy, I forget I think these are the words, actually. This cuts out your words right here. Isn't that a sweet deal? Pretty good deal. And this one cuts out, does this one cut these out? No, this one is the sleigh. That one cuts out the sleigh. Now, I haven't used those because and this is going to be a really nice little pond or snowbank. Either way, I haven't done that one yet either. Cuts out the tree, you get little stars or flowers. You could use those. There's 3 of them. The wreath is rather large. That's my one, I won't say it's a complaint because it was easy to fix. But this wreath, I cut it down quite a bit to get it to fit on this barn. It was much larger than that. It came down to here and came out. It would have covered my upper little window, and I didn't really want to cover that, you know, anyhow. So that was just my thinking, but it was easy to cut down. All right, and I do really like that little sign. That's cute. There's, I'm not sure what I'm going to put on that little sign, but there you go. I haven't actually used it. It's hard for me to fit everything in here. I've been sort of just throwing them in there. Because it's a photopolymer, you can just work with this super easy. But first of all, before you get going, are these the big ones that I just did? No, those are the bigger ones. Let me put those in a different place so I kind of remember what's what. So this is just your standard one. You're going to want to do a sky. So if you're doing a summer sky, for me, I am going to always want to just have a very light blue if I'm going to do a summer sky. Now this is an old one. This is soft sky because I want it to be really super light because I'm going to just stamp right on here. I'm not masking anything. Right now, you're just not even seeing any color, I bet, at all. I can see it because this is a very, very light blue. I have no idea when they put this one out. You can see this is our old linen pad, and which I don't know that I prefer it. It's easier for me to work with because that's what I learned on. But it has its pluses and negatives just like our foam pads do. So I'm not sure which I, like best. I know I kind of prefer this just because I'm used to working with it. So now I've got a very, very, very light blue. So I can add gray to that if I want to make it a snowy sky. Kind of a cloudy, snowy type sky later. I can do that. All right, so first of all, when I'm going to just play around and see what can I come up with for a card, because I'm just playing and having fun, I'm going to just stamp. Now, since you can put your barn either way, but because its barn door is going to be facing like you're going in this way, I'm probably not going to want it on the back. I don't want stuff facing the back of the barn necessarily. You could do that, and it might be really interesting, but that's just not gonna be me. I'm a very conservative, like standard, everything standard kind of person. Hey, Andy, it's so good to see you. Awesome. It sounds to me, yes, this is a great one, Andy. You're going to love it. It sounds to me like you're going somewhere. You're going to pop in and pop out again. Is it nice there? It looked like the Tri-City weather has been beautiful. All right, so because this is going to be a brown barn and it's a very pale sky, I can just stamp anywhere on here and not worry about it. As long as I didn't pull this down too far. If I still wanted to make it a snow scene, I could. It's going to just be easy to deal with. So I'm going to just stamp right on here. I do want the bottom of my barn to be somewhat level with the bottom of my card. So I'll just tip it a little bit, as you can see, so that it is level. And I'm going to just stick that right on there. It stamps really nice. My sky is here, yes, but that'll be super easy for me to cover, won't it? Because, like I said, it's a barn. I'm going to be 105. No way, Andy. That's not nice. I'm so sorry. It's beautiful here. It's 70s today. I just stepped out in the sun. Our deck gets really hot. And here it's, it's 111 right now. And so the sun has finally just come over the top of our house and is like baking on our deck. So it gets really hot about this time when it's 85 and above. But it's cool and comfortable out there. I was like, no, I don't want to stamp. I think I want to just sit out on my deck. I already spent a bunch of time out there this morning, so I don't really have any excuse for fooling around. I can do this. All right. So what I'm going to do with this, just to see what kind of things I can play with. Now, we do have like I said, a whole bunch of things in our catalog that we have now and coming up that you could put with this stamp set. You know, the pumpkins, animals, there's some trees. You could do your camping set. There's just a ton of things. But I was thinking about all the things I have that I would like to see that I haven't gotten out in a long time. Like, do you remember the wishing well? Now, the wishing well would fit on here really cool. Wouldn't that look nice? So this is what I do when I'm playing around, is I get out a stamp and I'll just lay it right on there and think, yeah, I think that's gonna work. I think we will get to it. This is an old style cling one where the sticky stuff on the back wasn't as good as what we have now. So that is a big stamp. It tends to fall off and it's harder for me to stamp with, so I'm gonna put it aside for now. Another one that's a very, very old one. This is from the 80s. I don't know what this is from. It's from a bunch of girls that, I think there were 3 stamp sets, and there was another girl with it. They're like friends, you know. It's a friend stamp. But this little girl with the watering can, isn't she cute? We're going to put her in there. But then I was thinking, okay, if we do that, though, if I want to do that, I can put the fence there, and that will be fine. But I need some other background. So I brought out my sheltering tree. Sheltering tree's got that cute bike. It has the rake or the swing. Wouldn't that be cute back there? So you can just lay your stamps down and kind of look at it and think, yeah, I think that's gonna look really cute. And then I can do, this could be any seasonal thing. Again, the reasons why you don't want to get rid of your good old stamps. Now, some old stamps, sure, go ahead, get rid of them. You're probably never gonna use it again. But some of your old ones, here's, this was a seasonal one that was, wow, was it? No, it was a fall set. This is the one I used the most of it. You can see the date, 1999. Those were the days. Our 2 boys, neither one of them were very old by 1999. They were pretty young. Anyhow, this one is gonna be cute, and then I can still use that leaf because there's, like, of course, fallen leaves on the ground, and I think that would work really good. So we'll probably do that. That reminded me that I've got still Autumn Goodness that I never did use up as much as I really liked. It has a really big fence. I'm not so sure about this wheelbarrow. Let's see if it'll work. I think it might. We'll just lay it on here and see. Oh yeah. That wheelbarrow would look great with some pumpkins in it to make this another autumn theme thing. And actually, its pumpkins are pretty more sized, better, I think. Wow, that was really bad English, but you get the idea. They're definitely sized a little bit more appropriately, is I guess the word, than my big harvest one that I have. I just did a different card style to get that big pumpkin in. Anything you want to do that's really, really super large for something like this. Let me see if I have anything. I didn't bring anything out that's like that. Okay, never mind. I don't really have... Yeah, I didn't bring anything out that's super, super big. But if you have a really big object and you want to do it, you're just going to want to make sure the barn looks like it's fully in the back. Stick a label or something up front that's going to bring your object up. And then you can have something pretty big in the front. But for people who want to do something a little bit more guy-friendly, here's our old Pedal to the Metal. This is a really good car set. Vehicle set. So if somebody you know has any vehicle, we have a few truck kind of things. We could do, there's that guy. That motorcycle's good, but I've got an even better motorcycle. Do you remember One Wild Ride? This is a really good one. You could put him, this one also is the old cling style, doesn't stick. This one definitely needs to be re-glued if I'm gonna use it. In fact, if I do decide to use it, here's what I can do. I'll just take some of my Tombow will stick you with a whole bunch of Tombow all over here. Let it dry, and then that's going to be somewhat tacky, and it'll stay on my block pretty good. But that has to thoroughly dry, so I'm going to have to set that one aside. This one has some nice sentiments, so that's one reason I haven't gotten rid of it, even though I'm not a motorcycle rider. It also, I'm glad I didn't get rid of it, because now we actually live in a town that's on Route 66, so that's one I'm going to be using more since we moved to Missouri. Here's this truck. I like this one. This is one of my favorite ones. It has the look of one that's been abandoned out in the field. Now this one, I think I could use, I think its paneling would cover those lines well enough. And I can make that work. It's kind of close to it, so I'd have to be careful, but I could make that one work. Here's the one that I'm talking about. Here's a big object. If you want to put something like this on, again, just make your card a little bit smaller so you can have room for a mat. Put a label of some kind on. This goes on the label with a sentiment, and then that's how you can get something big, like right in there with your background. Do you guys remember Heartland? Oh boy, this is our old barn, and I've used this one a ton. This one, I kind of like the look of it. It's a little old homier than this one. This one's a very simplistic version of this. I've got my windmill, the trees. The bad thing about it was that it was so small and so detailed that it pretty much was a watercolor or pencil only kind of image. If you used markers or blending pens on it too much, it just sort of washed out the lines a lot. It was a harder one to stamp and really color. So I'm glad that we have this barn. This one's bigger. This one actually fits in the background better, but that's not always good if you don't have a big enough thing to stick in front. So I'm not sad to have that one go, but this one does have a really nice tractor that would work there and a cute dog, but kind of the same issue with the coloring. I've used this kid's with the ducks the most. Probably all of you have too, because he goes really well. You don't have to color him a lot. He's super cute. So that is one of my favorites. Now, probably the most recent one that I've got that I think I'll start with is Grace's Garden. I think that one is retired. I think last year they retired this. I was sorry to see it go because it's one of my favorites. It had all these fabulous dies in here. But look at that garden gate. Oh, ho, ho. A garden gate's perfect if you want to have a bunch of flowers all over the front of this. So if we do that, then let's see what I've already got cut out. Looks like I've already got cut out a bunch of the I stamped and cut out the fences already, but I tend to not use them. That's why they're all in here and not being used. So, if we're going to do that, though, I don't know if I want a white fence. I guess white picket fence is nice. Let's see how these flowers will fit on here. I think I can stick some of them here without too much trouble. And there are dies, so I could cut them out. And if we put this here, like that, and there is going to be a fence. I can even use these on here and cut them halfway, so it's not like a gate. I could do that, have half of a fence and half of a fence, or a quarter of a fence. Okay, that wouldn't be too hard to do. Let's see, I can cut out the flowers and stick those on there if I want to. Okay, wouldn't that be cute? Let's look at our sentiment, see how big it is. There's a few. I guess there's that smaller one too. Let's see what this one says. Of all the blossoms in life's garden, friendship is the most fragrant. That's a really good one. I like that one. So let's see. That one won't fit all that well. Kind of will, but not great. Let's see. The other one is, I thank you for all the kindness. No, that's something else. What is that? With all my heart. I'm missing some. Oh, there's a hello. Let's look at the front. I'm not reading it. I thank you for all the kindness in yours. Oh, you've got to do the with all my heart. I thank you for all the yeah. Got to put it all together to get the whole effect. So I'll have to come up with another sentiment, obviously, if I choose to do that. What do you think? What should we do? I'm going to go ahead, I think, and we'll put this aside. I'm not going to put that away because I think I might use it. The first one I wanted to do was my oldest stamp. And I'm not going to do all of these. I'm just going to do some. So I'm going to stick her on here because I definitely want her to be on here. But I'm going to need that tree and I'm going to need the fence. So the fence, I can do the fence in black. So that's fine. I don't need to really worry about the fence too much. But the tree, I want to make sure that's placed well because I want to make sure I get all of my, well, even if not all, I want to get a lot of this canopy. This canopy is large. It's a very large canopy. I can do part of the canopy and not do all of it. But I'm going to want to do a lot of it. This one doesn't have dies, so you're going to have to just make it work. Okay, so we can do that. So we'll just go ahead and start with that. Now, if I don't want to fuss with that, I could get out my On the Horizon. This is another favorite one that I can bring into all different kinds of sets because this little tree line is the perfect size to go right behind a whole lot of things. And then these grasses are really nice to make it come up front with some nice grasses at the front. Now the On the Horizon ones also did have really good dies too. And they're mountains and all sorts of things. So that one was a good one. So when I'm looking at stamp sets to buy, I make sure it's going to be one that I'm going to use again and again. Or if it's one that I just think it's so cute and I'm probably only going to use it once, then I will get rid of that one. I'll either give it away or I should sell my stamps. That's actually what I should be doing, but generally I just give them away because I don't give away very many. It's not like I do that very often. So one thing about the new stamps out of our new catalog, I am going to just warn you really quickly, is I am noticing that a whole bunch of them, so be careful, test it before you go to do it on your card. A bunch of them are getting inked down in these little wells between the raised parts. And I've had to go super, super light for that, when pressing down, like barely touching a few times, barely touching to not get it down in the wells. And, it shouldn't be doing that. And if you feel like if you have a stamp that is not working right, then do call Stampin' Up! And they will replace it because they shouldn't be that touchy. All right, so there we go. But that one, even though it's down in the wells, it's not inked up enough, you can see it didn't mess it up. But what's happened, in fact, you'll see what I'm talking about with the fence. Let me do the fence next. Okay, let me put this away. So I think I might want to put, boy, I don't know, I think my fence might have to be on top, so I probably better do my canopy before I do the fence. And this is summer. This is a summer picture. She's got flowers, so we better do the leaves in green. And we'll do soft succulent just to make sure it's not too strong. I'm going to go ahead and just ink it up, but that's not looking all that strong. Let's see what happens. Oh, that's perfect. Love it. So easy to do. This has always been one of my favorite tree stamps. It's a perfect one for me. It's got everything in it that I want. All right. So I'm not really done with that, but I'm gonna move it aside here for a moment. And let me put my ink pads away. So as I said, we have a new catalog coming. There's just been all kinds of, I got to see a new bird out in the path, a bike path, a real, not a blue bird. It was blue. It was like a stunningly, startlingly turquoise type little songbird blue. But I mean, it was almost like turquoise. It was like a hummingbird turquoise, kind of, almost. I think it was just because of the way the sun was on it. I do not know what kind of bird it was. I need to come home and on those days and just find out right then what it is, because it was really beautiful. I've never seen one since, and I only saw that one. It was fast. I landed in the tree near me. I got off my bike because it was like amazing, and it immediately flew away. And I didn't really get that great of a look at it, just enough to make me wish I had seen it. So here's the fence. I'm going to use black. Now, this is not a super juicy pad. If it was super juicy, I'd have to be even more careful. But let me push hard on here so you can see what I'm talking about. Oh, of course, it's not doing it too much. But you can see all of these little things. Well, if this pad was super juicy, this thing would be just covered with ink. You wouldn't be seeing any blank spaces at all, because this fence is not very, I should actually use my stamp apparatus to do this, because what's going to happen if, let's see if it doesn't stamp very well. Let me get a scrap paper, because I don't necessarily want it on there. Okay, that actually is stamping just fine, so I'm going to not worry about it. But sometimes if you have to ink it really lightly because it's not inking up the way it should, you have so many little white bubbles in your ink that you have to do it again and again. And in that case, you definitely want to use your stamp and your stamp apparatus. Okay, so I'll just ink up like this, kind of lightly, sticking it on a few times. Check to make sure I'm going the right direction. That's the bottom. All right, but that is the bottom, but do I want it that way? Yeah, I do. So I'm going to put this fence going like this. Okay, and then we'll probably do is her head's going to be around here. I wouldn't mind having the fence extend, but it would need to be smaller and smaller as it went. So we're just going to leave it as that and see what happens. If I want, oh no, look at that. You see, after all my chatter, it did all of that, which is totally flubbed now, totally flubbed. So let's do something here. We'll stick her head over that. I wasn't planning to, but I'm going to have to, I think, now. Oh, boy. Even after I talked to myself about it, I screwed it up. This week, I also got to see an opossum. We've seen them in, I suppose, in the zoos, but I haven't seen them. I'm going to have to put her on a label now. I was going to just stamp her on because, look, she fits on here really nicely, just like that. But I might have to put her on a label. I don't really want to, because I would rather have my sentiment on a label rather than her. I think we'll just start over again. This has now become a scrap paper, and we will just do another, because that's not going to work for me. So, sorry. We'll have to just start with some blue. I'll do Seaside Spray this time instead of my sky blue, just because it's darker, so it'll go a little faster. You don't have to watch me sponging the sky forever. It's pretty close to my soft sky. It's just a little more blue and a little more gray. So I don't prefer it for a summer sky. It's okay, but I have to go pretty light on it. It's really good though for a wintry or a rainy sky, and you can see those kinds of streaks going really well. Okay, that's good enough. I'm not gonna get too carried away there, and we'll do our barn again. I can find you. What did I do with the barn? Oh, you're right in front of me. So I saw that a possum. Let's see. I did see that deer again. I think it might be the same deer, but there are other ones there's a few. I think there's some people that feed them. They're the nicest houses down there. They pretty fancy. Now see, that has done it there too. And now I'm a little afraid. So I'm going to clean that and try it again. I don't really want... So I'm going to just try to go a little lighter on that. It's interesting, though, because it's not really inking up quite the way I want it to. Okay, there we go. Stick the barn in there. And let's see, turtles. I got to see a bunch of turtles and squirrels. That was exciting. We've got new bird feeders, and after I saw that bird in the on the bike path, I thought, oh, I should probably find out how to attract birds like that, because that is a very cool bird. Maybe I will put her in first. Okay, and then I'll know where to put my tree a little bit better. Okay, so now she's in there. And our sheltering tree. We always have a lot of cardinals. That's all, you know, for Jeff and I, because we're new here, that's really exciting. And the fireflies at night are really exciting every single night. I remember when I was a kid and we lived in Indiana for just, wow, maybe barely 1 year. I remembered that we had fireflies and they were really cool to me when I was a kid, but I'd forgotten how cool they were. And so the first year we were here, I was pretty excited about it because I'd totally forgotten how cool they were, and that I even had any memory of them. I really didn't think I did have a memory of them because I didn't realize that I did until we were here. And then I remembered, oh, that is interesting, because I never thought about them as a memory. I only, you know, knowledge of them when you read about something. Okay, I had to get some of that off because I didn't really want that on her head. And I'm going to move it up because I don't want that tree on her head at all. So we'll get that up. You don't want the tree trunk to go right on her head. In fact, I should have moved it over some so the tree wasn't like directly over her. That would have been a lot better placement. I wasn't thinking, yapping about fireflies and didn't think about it. Our robins finally flew. This is our second batch of robins that were under our porch. I'm so glad they're gone. They're so cute, but I can't use the porch underneath the patio, the deck, underneath the deck. That patio under the deck is what I'm trying to say, is cool in the afternoon because the oak tree, she shades it completely, so it's a really pleasant place to sit in the afternoon. I couldn't sit out there because I didn't want to scare off the robins because they were feeding their babies, and oh sheesh. So we couldn't use the backyard hardly at all. It was a little annoying, just a little. So when we get our new deck out there, I'm going to make sure they do not leave any nice rafters for robins to build nests on, because the first batch was okay. That was annoying, but it only outshined by their cuteness and the novelty of seeing robins fledge. We've seen other birds do that, but it was new for us for robins, so that was exciting and all of that. But the second batch was like right away, because that robin, the daddy robin, I don't know if it was the same one, but I think it was. It's like he had 2 wives, because those robins had fledged and he had built 2 nests, one right next to the other on the same rafter, but with one rafter in between. 2 nests. One nest was really shallow. It's the sides of the nest, you know, it was about that big. The sides that came up were only about that, barely that high. The second nest that they didn't choose first had higher sides, about that high, which I guess the first Robin decided that's not as good a nest. So she took that other one, got those out. That was great. And then immediately another one, either this, I don't think the same one. Do they have eggs again immediately? I don't know. We don't know anything about it. It's just, I couldn't believe when Jeff said there's another Robin in there. There's another, and they're using that nest. I was like, no, they can't be using that nest. I want to use the porch. So we had to wait for that. And this batch too, because it was right on top of a batch that had just fledged. They had like little mites. I couldn't even sit on the upper part on the deck out there after they'd gotten to a very big size at all, because I got mites on me, all over on me. Every time I sat, look at that, it did it again. That is so annoying. And I looked too. Did you see me? I looked at it and I didn't see any ink in those wells. So, you know, this is going to be a problem for me with this fence. And I'm sorry, because it's a really good fence, but it's the ink, the raised portion's not raised enough. That's just all there is to it. It's not raised enough. So if you get a Christmas barn and you're having trouble with it, just make them give you a new one, because that's ridiculous. In fact, I'm going to have to take my little pen here and white out a whole bunch of smudginess that shouldn't even be here at all. Okay, it's a good thing I'm not doing snow here, because if this was snow, this would not work. But because I'm not going to do a snowy background anyway, it's fine. All right, so we have her. She's pretty cute. I'm not going to want to, you know, do like a whole bunch of coloring and using up my pads and all that, and I do kind of want to use the same green as what's in my tree, so I'll just sponge around her here, and then we'll put our sentiment right on top of that. But anyway, oh boy, it's been perfect weather, so it's been nice to sit out on the deck without getting spider mites all over me. Oops, I shouldn't have just shoved that on there. Usually you go to the side and do this. Oh, that was a big mistake. Because now I'm going to have to kind of like work that, because that's not, that one's going to have to be much darker than I probably would have made it. Because it's got a couple of nice curves there, doesn't it? There are ways to fix these things, so that's why, you know, when you do something, just don't panic. It'll be fine. Okay, so that's as good as I'm going to get that background. I don't want to get too carried away with it, because I need to put some grass there. I could do more flowers, but out of just keeping things simple, I'm going to find, there it is, on the horizon. This one has got all those grasses, so we're going to stick some of that there. Let's do these with a darker green so it stands out nicely. I've learned not to go to the park or too early in the morning. Apparently everybody does, and so if I just wait until 10:30 or so, it has been lovely. No one out on the path. It's been really, really nice. Now my mossy meadow, I'm having trouble with it. This is a brand new one. And it's not always inking up as strongly as I would like it to. I'm gonna try try to do a smaller version here in the middle. Just to try to cover up the fact, because it's not a photopolymer, this is a cling. So you can't really, there we go, see through it to just stamp directly on. That's another reason why if you do everything with your stamp apparatus, you're going to be all set. You don't even have to worry about those things. Okay, let's see, what do we got here? Wishing you so much happiness. That's nice. Maybe I'll do that one. Since we got it, we're going right here. Let's just keep it out though, because I'm not done. I still have to color in that stuff, so let's not be too hasty. All right, let's see here. I'm going to stamp my sentiment here. That's going to take up all the space. I do need just a little bit more green here, but I don't want to color too much because I want her to be, you know, standing out. So let's pull out my pens. Let's start with her skin color. That's pretty good. All right, now we got her skin done, so that's out of the way. My gray granite is what I want for my barn, at least for the barn roof, but I'm gonna have to go with smoky slate, I guess, because my gray granite is almost out. I didn't realize it was coming to the end. Sometimes those big on the other side where the nibs are pretty fat, they wear out faster. Well, I think my smoky slate looks like it's coming to the end too. Let's outline a little bit here. Just a little bit, just so that I can use that fatter side, just for speed. Okay, if you want to shade it, you know, just think about how the sun is going to be hitting this. I'm not putting shadowing in at all. So that being said, I know it doesn't really matter where I'm putting it in. I guess it normally would be at the back here is where the shadowing would be, really. Be more at the back and at the bottom. Okay. All right, let's see now. What do I want to do with my barn colors? What do you think? What colors do you like a barn? A red barn's always really pretty, but I'm saving that for Christmas and for autumn pictures, so I don't want to do red for this one. And I already know I want to do a brown barn, so let's give them a nice shaded spruce green. This is the light shaded spruce, or its little painted edges. Frames, I guess you'd call them, window frames and door frames. And I could have done that with the roof too, huh? Let's do it there. We'll leave the roof gray. Do its little eaves with green. These windows on the side look like just little vents because they have lines in them that look like they're not real windows. I'm partial to barns, really partial. They just make it's so peaceful. Just, you know, the thought of being out there in the country with a barn. We have a lot of places that are in town here where, oops, I missed one, that have a barn. You're right in town and you're a nice little house that was probably a pretty good amount of property. The neighbor across the street had me water her, let me do these while I've got this green here. She had me water her lawn or her flowers, I mean her garden. She has some plants of various kind, and so I was happy to do that for her because they watched our house while we were gone, so I wanted to make sure that I was keeping up with them. And I actually was truthful in saying I was happy to do it because I haven't had a garden to work. Let's put in some shadowing. Okay, so if I'm going that direction, which I've already done, I probably shouldn't have done it like that because there. All right, because now they kind of all needed to go that direction, not the direction I had going. I'm going to end up cutting that off because I don't like how I did that. Then, if you've got, like I just did, it's kind of way too dark. If you have your lighter blending pens, you can kind of soften that up. Okay, this is one reason I didn't ink into this, so that I could use my pen to kind of color in around where she is, make it green. This is light mint macaroon, and it matches that So Saffron, where'd I get that from? The soft succulent really well when you color it in. It's wearing out too. I've got a bunch of pens I need to replace. I haven't replaced them in a long time, I can tell. Because I think I've got a whole bunch that are going to have to be replaced very soon. Which is going to cost a fortune. They're $10, almost 10 for 2. You can only buy them in 2s now. We were able to buy them in singles before, but not now. Okay, so there we go. There's that. I still don't like that, so we're going to go like this and try to soften those lines out. I should have used that dark green. I know better than that. There we go. Uh-oh, I do need my barn probably to be casting somewhat of a shadow here, don't I? Okay. Get those back together again. I can still see where I've got like major issues there. What have we got? I think we've got some grass here, don't we? Yes, we do. Some little grass, some little leaves. Maybe some little grass there will do. It's not as little as I'd like, but it's fairly small. We better use the soft succulent in case I don't like it. That's not bad. Okay, now if I want to make it smaller, it's easy to do. Just ink the top, and then you've got little tiny teeny grasses, just inking the top. Oops, that's still kind of big. I've got better grass. So let's see if I can find a better clump in one of these other ones. I'm pretty sure there is one. Those are sort of spread out a lot. They're nice, but they're kind of spread out a bunch. Okay, let's see how I can get that bike. I would have to cut the bike out to get it to really work. Same thing with the swing and all, so I'm not gonna mess with that. All right, this is actually looking pretty good because I'm gonna put a sentiment in there. I don't think I really need to mess too much more with this grass, and I'm gonna cut this side off. So let's just go ahead and color the barn brown and get going with it, and we'll be done. This is gonna be a fast one today, and I kind of expected it to be just because it's a big coloring job. The barn isn't, but all the little things that you put around it are. And that being the case, I didn't want you to have to be sitting here forever watching me color. So I thought, well, instead of doing that, I will just show you what fun you can have with some of these kinds of realistic line-drawn stamps. I'm not as good with the art, the cartoony or abstracty kind of stamps. These I can use over and over and over. The other ones I do use depending on what other new ones come out with, but a lot of times I struggle to use those again. But these are so easy to get out and use again and again. Just depends on what you like. And since I do this as a hobby, it's really relaxing to me just to be like out in this own little world right here. So that's another reason I think I prefer these kinds of stamps. It's more of an escape. Today we had really good news, though. It was nice to have good news. Normally I don't even listen anymore. It's all so horrible. But I was glad to see that the Supreme Court did a great job of actually turning back states' rights a little to them. That is fabulous. Aren't we glad that states are able to regulate abortion? That gives the power back to the people rather than some elitist deciding things for you. So that is fabulous news. And I'm only reminded by that because today I heard that the Coach Kennedy case was found in favor of religious expression. I keep missing a line. There's another green line I missed. So that is fabulous news too. I don't know of anybody who has a strong belief in anything who would think it bad that you in a privately are not permitted just because you happen to be a coach or something like that other people do look up to, yes, but they don't have to. They're not being forced to. And so the fact that he was denied the right to be able to pray after the game or before the game or anytime, it's ridiculous. So that is a huge victory. Really glad about that. That makes our country stronger. And for people who are of a different faith, it makes it stronger for them too, because they'll come for you too. They're not going to be limited just to Christians, All right, so that is my lighter brown. Now, so I do have some SU Stampin' Up! Lighter browns, but I'm not sure which one would have been the blend for this bronze. So I'm going to use this one just because I know that one's nice and light. Okay, very good. That is that. And then I can put my yellow just to indicate, I guess, straw in there. I don't know. I'm not sure why I would need that to be yellow. It just seems appropriate to make it yellow. Oops, I forgot my brown up there. I need to do that. There is a little window, but we'll just make it brown. Okay, very cute. Then you can do her colors, all kinds of colors, We'll do some pink, little flamingo pink there. That's going to match those little flowers. So cute. Let's do her shirt that way too. Oh, she's got a little ribbon in her hair. Let's do her collar. How about her shoes? Let's make them pink too. Her little slides. This is my light smoky slate again. We'll just do that for her overalls. that easy. We'll do a little bit of brighter green right there, maybe a little bit there as well. This is kind of a dark yellow. I don't really want that one. What is this? Is this Bumblebee? That's what you look like. No, it's dark daffodil. It's pretty dark. So saffron is just a little light, but dark daffodil, you're way too dark. There we go. Together, it's not bad. There's just a tiny bit of space needing to be colored there for that green. So let's grab out my mint macaron. Get that green colored there. There we go. Oh, yellow for the centers. I could do orange, but you wouldn't even see it if I did that. Voila. Pretty sweet deal. All right. This last Sunday, we had probably one of the best sermons we've had since we've been here. He did a great job. If you ever want to hear it, it's Northside Christian Church here in Springfield. It's up on the north side. That's why it's called Northside. Great church. We really enjoy it. But he did a wonderful job of explaining judgment, because he did it in a way that made sense to me. Sometimes I get lost and confused in their discussions of judgment and trying to explain it all. So it was nice to hear a version that I could really understand, and it made total sense and was biblically sound as well. So that was good. And it wasn't. Sometimes those err on either side. They can either be really super harsh, or they err on the side of, oh, well, you don't need to really worry about it. So I just really enjoyed it because it didn't err in either of those directions. Now I've got a piece of soft saffron. I keep saying that for my soft suede. Stop it. That actually looks more like cinnamon in the background, but my tree matches it, so I think we're going to be good with that. Let's do a brown sentiment there, and I think we might go with just a line. Those are not ones that I want. What do we have for here? Christmas, of course. Oh boy, we've got a bunch though. Wishing you so much happiness. There we go. Or just relax and enjoy your day. That's probably my favorite one. It's like, who doesn't want to get a card that says relax and enjoy your day? It's perfect. Now, one thing I've been doing that's made my stamping so much better is everything I own here has got grid lines on it. If you line up, that does too, but they're so faint you can't see them. So if you line up your block with your grid lines, for the cling ones, you can't see through to place it perfectly. And I oftentimes don't get my sticker on exactly like this. I mean, often. It's most likely not perfectly matching my words. So I can't use that image as a guarantee. So if I line up my block and then I line up the center, you could do the bottom for you, I suppose, or top, but to get it centered in the block, I use basically the center of the stamp. In this case, I'm going to use this line right here. I'm going to put that side there and make sure that side is there. And then I know my words, at least, are going to be lined up to the bottom of my block. That doesn't look perfect, though. Let's do it again. I can't get my head in here quite as I would if I didn't have the camera going there. So anyhow, when I do that, it's still not 100%, but I sure have been having a lot better success in getting these. Now, if you're cutting it out with a die, it doesn't matter, because you stamp it and then you go take it over there and you cut it out and you get it centered exactly right. But if you're stamping right on and your card like this, here, let me put my white paper down so I can see the edge of this card better. Then I can line up the bottom of my stamp, not my image, because that, again, is subject to my personal flaws. But now that I've placed this stamp on this block in a squared up as much as I can get it, I can square up my card with the bottom being along one of those lines, then line up my block to be the same, and then it should be pretty straight. It's making a huge difference in getting my sentiments lined up just to use those grid lines. And I've been telling myself to do that for really, I'm not kidding, a couple of years. Hey, Will, did you have a good lunch with the kids? It's nice to see you guys back. I didn't do any jokes today. I should have, since you were with me. I could pull them out, I suppose, but it's a little late now. What are you guys gonna, I don't know, I think Dad and I this year for 4th of July, we're gonna just stay here in Springfield, I think, because they actually do have a parade. Last year, I don't think we realized in time that Springfield had a 4th of July parade, and so we went out of town, but I believe they have one, and we're going to do the one that's right here. And we were told that our neighbors do a lot of fireworks, just like, I think, similar to the way we had it in the Tri-Cities. And the Tri-Cities, our neighbors really well out for the 4th of July. We had, by the time when our kids were small, we only had our next door neighbors doing it. But it was still pretty spectacular, even just with them doing it. But then, by the time we moved away from the neighborhood, my goodness, they had quite the competition going all over. So we didn't have to go down anywhere to fireworks. We got to see plenty right on our street. And so I'm thinking it might be like that here too, because fireworks is a really big deal here. It's sold year round. The stands are not stands here, they're tents, and we're talking big revival style tents. They're huge. They've got like a little warehouse out on not every other corner. So their corners aren't as filled with them. In the Tri-Cities at this time of the year, there's like almost no corner that doesn't have a fireworks stand on it, because they use them for fundraisers and whatnot. So you've got just like a plethora of opportunity to buy or sell fireworks. But that is not going to be sized correctly. It's close, but it's a tiny, tiny bit too big for my standard sized card. I'm going to just narrow it down a bit, because I do not think I need to cut a bigger card to do this. I think that's going to fit on there pretty well. So it's not the perfect border, but it's close. But the tents that they are doing, I mean, they are big, big top tents. And we haven't, because I'm not interested in spending money on fireworks. I haven't gone to see what they have, but again, you can buy them year-round here, so they have a lot of variety, I'm sure. We'll see. I don't even know what the rules are for, doing fireworks here in Springfield, because we're old and I don't have any kids here and don't need to really worry about it. All right, there we go. Isn't this cute? All right, I wish you could get this little girl stamp. You could, I'm sure, on eBay. Again, I don't remember what stamp set it was. It was a old one from the 90s. Those golden years. And put that on there. There we go. Very simple, no layers. So it's going to fit in my card envelope without having to put on extra postage. It's kind of nice, very simple. All right, I hope you enjoyed that today. Don't forget to get ready for celebration. I'll say it again. It's coming soon, July 1. Almost here. And you have a wonderful week. I hope you have great weather like we are and you get to get out and enjoy some things. Do I have my camera positioned right? I think I do. I don't even know. All right, I will see you again next week. Oh, I won't. Next week is the 4th of July, so I will not be here next week. And we are actually going to be vacationing, not in July. I should be here most of July, but not in August and September. I'm going to be in and out. So I'm not exactly sure when I will be here in August and September. I will be here where I can, but where I can't, oh well, you know that we are out visiting family, and I will be back regular time, all the time in, well, let's see, October. I guess that would be October. I don't think we're going anywhere in October. I'm not sure. So anyhow, I will see you later. Have a great day, and God bless. All right. Bye-bye.